recently told me that you write Cuban poetry in English. And as soon as you said that, I thought of Mike and his approach to food, where he's taking Cuban food and Cuban culture and applying, I don't know if you'd say applying it to Mike or applying to it French technique and classical food ideas. And maybe there's a little bit of to it and...
Yeah, I mean, there's like...
And by the way, this is where I'll step out. And
Yeah. You'll step in and out. That's what Nick does.
Whatever.
He steps in and out of shit the whole time. So I think the approach I have to food is something that, since I am Cuban American, born in Hialeah and of Cuban parents, I feel like my goal in life is to keep our tradition, our culture, our being alive through my food. And it doesn't need to be like rice and beans. And it doesn't need to be so many things that people think that we are. Just because they think that we are those things doesn't mean I need to be those things. I need to be who I am. And through that extension, who I am is Cuban American. So that relates to the plate. And it could be, it could be so many things. Our foie gras dish, I feel like, is the most representation of like Cuban American culture and like the combination of that. And I think that through that's good. Was it good?
It was incredible. It was my first time having foie gras.
Really? Oh, first time having foie gras.
And that dish.
It's a very introductory version of foie gras for like a diner. And I think as time developed, I kind of gained my voice and I gained confidence in myself and in my food because I understood the journey a little bit better. And the journey will change. I think all of our journeys change and things adjust, and you kind of learn, at least every day, a little bit more of what you want your purpose to be. And I mean, I'm 35, so I feel like my purpose at 35 and my purpose at 45 will be different. So, yeah, I mean, that's the extension of like, when he mentioned that quickly to me a couple minutes ago of, you write your poetry in English, it makes sense to me. I try to relate Cuban food to what the everyday diner wants, but if they really were to think about it, there's more to the story. The foie gras dish started because sour orange is something that we use a lot, and we only use it for one application, but it can be used for more things. And it was inspired by the tree that was in my grandparents' backyard, that's still in my grandparents' backyard. And that's where it all started. The first time I made the dish was with the sour oranges from the tree and so on and so forth. And then now it's been on the menu for 5 years, and it was created 8 years ago. So, yeah.
One of the things that's always fascinated, not just me, many people, is how tastes and smells trigger memories.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that visual and audio stimulus doesn't quite do it in the same way.
Right.
You taste something and it stays in there, and then 30 years later, you taste this thing. For instance, I have this fixation with coming up with the same Malteada that I had as a kid in El Tencent in La Havana, in Galeano y San Rafael. And they would put them in these like paper cone things, with a plastic stand. But the taste of the Malteada was like, I've tried every combination to try to adjust it. When I get that Malteada taste again, I'll probably, go into some kind of transcendental state. The same thing with aromas. As a kid, my godfather, who was worked in Partagas, and he would I spent Saturdays with him, and we filled up his bicicorre, his station wagon, with boxes of cigars, and he would take them to different points in Havana. And I remembered that smell of the cedar boxes and the tobacco. So at some point, when I was a young man, I just felt, when I lit my first cigar and opened my first cigar box, I was transported.
Right.
So food, I think that's why food has such a powerful role in the preserver and the transmission of a culture's living, developing identity.
Right.
Because it's very intimate. It's the senses of smell and taste have to actually hit the body. I mean, it's not like you can see something from afar. I guess you could smell something from a certain distance, but that the whole idea that the tongue has to actually the palate has to receive that food, that it triggers those memories, and that's why it has that role. Every ethnic group that comes to a new society, food is the first thing that gets established, and then later innovators like yourself continue that tradition and evolve it. That's how you can tell it's a living culture. Otherwise, we'd be eating frijoles negros and rice for 100 million years,
right?
And it would be just a nostalgia taste, as opposed to, or an anchoring taste, as opposed to a developing culture that has new tastes within a tradition.